Thanks so much, everyone, and welcome back. Always wonderful, uplifting, inspiring, and everything in between to connect with you. I was put on my heart this morning to share a message just about forgiveness, and it's never too late in making an apology. It is never too late to put yourself out there, and apologize. Again, it is never too late. It's never too late to put yourself out there, apologize, and ask for forgiveness. You know, life, summed up, is an evolution. You know, it's like we're on this train and we make many stops upon the millions and millions of miles we will travel emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. And I've come to understand over the last 20 years or so why forgiveness is so absolutely necessary on this journey. Because we are here to learn. And in learning, you're always going to make missteps and mistakes. We're here to manage boundaries. And we are here to explore our emotions and also creating boundaries and pockets of liberation around our emotions. It's beautiful work. It's intense work. It's nasty work. It's neat and tidy work. It's all of life defined is that work that we're doing. And I will tell you, please, who among us who has taken a perfect walk? Who among us who has taken a perfect walk? Would you please raise your hand and send me an email so I can send you some chocolates and a bouquet of fresh flowers, because that's a first. That's a first. Most of us here, we struggle. We try to get it right despite the best efforts. There are times we very unconsciously hurt and inflict pain on others without even knowing it. There are times we are not in our right divine state, and we will inflict discomfort or pain intentionally. And it can lacerate the soul. It can wound the soul. So as you go along in your evolution, to me, the most beautiful part about evolving is you have the opportunity to take full responsibility for yourself and your behaviors. I'm telling you, in a world where people are trying to scapegoat, get away with things, taking responsibility is awesome. Taking responsibility is awesome because you're not wasting your time pity-pat around, trying to get out of things, slide under the table. No, the buck stops here. I know better. I know better now, so I am going to do better, despite what folks may think, despite any backlash. And you know that you do that for the liberation of your soul, and you do that for God, and you can't go wrong. There's many rewards on the other side of that and in real time. Now, let me put myself in a little bit of a hot seat. So over the last 15, 20 years or so, as I have evolved, there have been 5 individuals that I needed to go back. I needed to reach back and ask for forgiveness and apologize for things I said or behaviors that I exhibited. This was all done very unconsciously. It's just where I was in my evolution. At the time, it seemed like the right thing to say. At the time, this seemed like a good idea to do this in terms of behavior. And it just, at just pockets in time, it would just come on my spirit. You need to reach back and say you're sorry. And a couple times I resisted it only because of ego. It's like, man, I'm going to have to put myself out there. Who knows what can of worms this is going to open up. But I was dealt with. Spiritually. And I knew you cannot look yourself in the mirror and genuinely claim growth on your evolution. And you dropped the ball here. No, this is part of it. All of this growth is not skipping in the forest and, eating fresh apple pie. There's going to be some things that are required. So 4 of these individuals I wrote letters to really just express my heartfelt apology, embarrassment in a couple cases. And one of them I reached out to personally. Now, out of the 5, 1 responded heartfelt, I appreciate this, thank you so much, et cetera, et cetera. Wonderful to hear from you. The other 4 I did not hear from, nor did I expect to hear from them. I'll tell you why. Because although on paper, forgiveness is, it sounds good, it looks good, feels good to receive it, but forgiving that moment where you allow someone to walk out of the prison of your heart, because to me that's what forgiveness is. That's not always easily done. Some people would prefer that you stay in there. They do want to keep you in the prison of their heart. Some of it is for condemnation. You hurt me, I want to punish you further. Some of it is, I don't want you to feel like you're off the hook. So people will keep you in that prison for their own reasons. But guess what? Just because they choose to keep you there, doesn't mean that you have to stay. That's an energy that you can divorce yourself from and walk away from it. That's really not your concern, even what they do with the request for forgiveness and the apology. Your business is extending that, because when you extend that, number 1, they have an opportunity to elevate their soul. You've elevated your soul the moment that you reach back to take ownership of what you've done. But if they choose to keep you in there, that's their business, because that's not where you live. That's not where you live. All they've done is choose to keep a toxic energy locked inside their hearts, because the moment you ask for that forgiveness in a heartfelt way, coming with true sincerity, the Lord liberated you out of that jail, in their heart. What they have left behind is just a toxicity. That's a toxic residue that they choose. And unfortunately, as much has been written about this and discussed, many people still don't understand what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is not, we're going to get together, go out to eat, skip. Forgiveness is, I open up the jail of my heart and I let you walk out and go free, because I don't want to hold you in there. Because if I hold you in there in jail, you got to feed the person, you got to clothe them, do all that. I let you free, and I wish for you everything that God has for you. And I do understand there are mistakes, there are missteps. I don't choose to nurse anyone in any prison. I don't even want to have a prison inside of me. So that's really what forgiveness is. God bless if you want to forgive and reunite. That's beautiful too. And sometimes we forgive, and I'll reference the video that I did a couple years ago. I forgive you, and I choose not to continue on with you, but I forgive you. I have certainly forgiven people, and we're not necessarily, going shopping or hanging out, but from the heart. I do forgive them. If I saw them, I'd have a big smile and a hug. But there are certain dynamics, and there's things that can happen inside of relationship where it's not necessarily healthy to continue, but you don't have to harbor resentment. So it's never too late if you feel that consciously or unconsciously you have wounded or hurt or lacerated someone's soul, or you have offended. And really, folks, and I'll tell you, if God operated the same way that human beings operated in this level, in this area of forgiveness, we'd all be under the jailhouse. But he does not. We have an opportunity for redemption daily, multiple times a day if you need it. And it's necessary, because we are here learning. We're growing. And I have to tell you, a recent study just came out. I'll cite the study this week in another video, but it just talked about how people who actively forgive and let go, I think it's like 30%, 26 to 30% healthier internally, better sleep, better quality of life, because they're not holding on to things. They're not holding on to things. And I think the flip side of forgiveness is just acknowledging what you need to be forgiven for and ask for it. So again, I hope this message has hit and resonated. And if you need to ask for forgiveness, that apology, do so. And just know that whether it comes in the physical form or not, just by you putting yourself out there is enough. You have been liberated. You can go directly to source as well for that liberation. Thank you so much. It's been Inspirational Shorts with Sheila. I'll connect with you soon.